Hello and welcome back to the Southern Bannermen. I am your host this evening, Ben, and I'm joined by regular host Matt.
Oh, that's great. I'm a regular host now, and I'm not new anymore. I guess it is 2018, and that means, what's new is now old.
And you have officially done infinitely more podcasts than Joe this year.
That's true, because, Joe the Schmo Zimmer is not making it tonight.
No, unfortunately not. He's a little bit busy, but that's fine. And we would have liked to hold on, but we've got spoilers.
Shh.
we'll say we've got some spoilers for the next pack, which I believe is Kingsmoot.
The Kingsmoot is the name of the pack. Yeah.
With a new Asha, sorry.
I
always get those two mixed up.
That one's been getting a lot of positive press, that Asha. She's got 3 icons, and she has a way of drawing cards. Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, the issue being she's in the same cost slot as Dagmar.
That is true, and it's a good problem to have, having lots of great, high-cost, unique characters.
But,
lots to choose from. Great joy.
I just think you're going to struggle because you put your 3 of Dagmar in, and then you build the rest of the deck.
Yeah, and that's true. And would you really take Asha over Urine Crow's Eye? Would you really? Think of the blowout potential with Urine. You can't pass that up. So it's and then you got to think about, do you want to do King Balon? And then that's 9 7-cost characters right there. Is there room for Asha? I don't know. You got to run 6 Great Hall or something.
So I do quite like the issues that. The great fact that Greyjoy now has these issues, but in all fairness, having when locations went crazy, having that combination of Euron and Dagmar was brutal.
Oh
yeah, absolutely brutal.
I still think Greyjoy fealty, especially since all these great high cost characters, they're all loyal. You can just jam them all in there. Victarion's not loyal, but that's okay. He's amazing.
He is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we probably should talk about what we're going to talk about tonight.
Oh yeah, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, we've got some spoilers which are coming up in a bit, which are going to link into something else we're talking about.
Yes.
Because we're going to look at, we've had a few spoilers, as in articles and cards from here and there. So we're going to talk about the year to come.
Yeah, we've actually gotten quite a bit of news lately. To be honest, we've got 3 packs announced. Packs, the Kingsmoot, Favor of the Old Gods, and the Faith Militant, and we've had the Martell big box announced, Sands of Dorne. So there's actually quite a bit to chat about.
Yes, there is, and as we were just talking about off air, we've just had a new agenda with the House of the Red Door, and in the next 5 packs, if you include the big box, we've got 3 more agendas coming, which I think is really exciting.
Oh yeah, I think that was mentioned in our end of year episode that new agendas are good. Just give us new ways to build our decks. Now I admit we're not quite on the level of an agenda I'd love to see, one where you just completely throw your deck building upside down. Something like something akin to first edition's famous Dark Wings, Dark Words.
Yes,
where you had the 75 card deck. That sounds like something I'd like to see in 2018. Something totally off the wall.
The 2 I would really like to see is the Knights of the Hollow Hill as well as Dark Wings, Dark Words. That's one I definitely want to see. Where from what I understand you didn't get a setup, but you got extra gold and extra card draw.
That seems to be right. Extra gold,
something like that.
Yeah.
Which I should tell you, I'll just look it up. It'd be easier than trying to guess. And the other one is I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it was like a naval one where you split your deck in half.
I have no idea how that one would work. Unfortunately, we don't have James Walmsley here to just be an encyclopedia of first edition. But you know what? That's okay. We don't need to talk about first edition. We can talk about all the amazing things we're going to be getting in the next few months.
But the thing is though, and I say we might as well hit onto this. But with the agendas, we've kind of had a mix of agendas, which I like. So obviously we just had the House of the Red Door, which is tailoring your deck to one location. Example on this one. The next one we're going to get is Green Sight. Now Green Sight's quite an interesting one because it kind of seems like an agenda you can just whack in if you can't think of anything better to run. So but I still think there's going to be some decks that will leverage it, like a Pillage deck probably will leverage it.
Sure.
But I think, but just being able to see, what's your next guy? And obviously Tyrell can tailor the decks and that type of stuff. So you've got that one, but then afterwards we've kind of got, like the Brothers Without Banners, we've also got this Faith Militant one where you have to design your deck really around a certain core.
Oh, you
of
really
cards.
do.
You can't just whack it in that onto any deck. It's not like you're kind of going, Kings of Summer, well, I'll take out this one winter plot, add another summer plot, and I'm done. This is very different. I like this. I wasn't a big fan of Brotherhood Without Banners to start with, but having used it a bit now, I'm kind of starting to see the potential in it. But you just have to look at deck building from a completely different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially something these seem to be the agendas that are really turning on neutral as almost its own faction. I mean, between Ocean Road and some of these agendas, all we need is a neutral reducer.
Yeah,
and then we'll really get going. So
just quickly to go back, Knights of the Hollow Hill counts as 5 cards at your command, whatever that means. Again, so we need some first edition players here. You have no setup. Other cards you control do not provide a gold bonus. But your house card gains +2 econ, +2 influence, and +2 initiative. Okay, well, that would need some heavy tweaking, I imagine.
Yeah, but it sounds like the key is that you're getting extra initiative just from your agenda, and you're getting extra gold just from your agenda.
Yeah, so I think that probably helps with running a slightly higher curve, which obviously is counterintuitive with everything else we're told.
True.
The game is going at the moment, but then I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Yeah,
I'm not sure about that one. It seems a little less interesting than I thought it would be.
I imagine it'd be something along the lines of like +3 gold, +2 initiative, maybe. And I don't know what influence is. I have been told what influence used to mean, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it seems that it's my understanding that influence was what kneeling your house card kind of is now. It's just a way to limit playing certain high value plays.
Yes, that does ring a bell, actually. That does ring a bell. As we said, unfortunately, we're not neither of us. I never played first edition. I don't know if you did.
Yeah, we're not the experts. Yeah. And also since we're on that topic, the one I think would be really interesting is one that was called Darkwing's Dark Words, 75 card minimum deck. You could have only one copy of each event, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but every time you played an event, you could draw a card.
Yeah, no, I think I was convinced that was coming because of there's some flavor text in one of the preview articles.
Oh, it is the Flight for Crow cycle. So
exactly, and
sense.
There was something else in there, and then there was what was the other thing that made me think it was definitely going to happen? There was the new queen. What's it?
Queen of Thorns. Yeah, she seems to operate a lot like what that Darkwing's Dark Words would do. Is you play a bunch of different events, and then you just search out the ones you want.
So here's the other agenda. It's called Black Sails. Neutral. Okay. When you reveal Black Sails as your agenda, shuffle your deck and cut into 2 stacks. Then the opponent. Then the opponent of your to your left, because obviously for melee, chooses 1 stack to be your hold, which is out of play. The other stack is your draw deck. Response: after you win a challenge in whichever one attacking naval character. So naval was like an extra symbol next to military, intrigue, and power. Okay. You may choose to draw 1 card from the hold. At the end of the phase, add it to your hand. Limit once per phase. So basically, you have like an extra draw deck.
This is weird.
Yeah. Again, I'm not sure it's good, but it seems quite fun.
It seems weird, I'll tell you that.
One of the issues being in first edition, you couldn't lose by your draw deck being milled. Obviously, with the amount of pillage we have now, that could be a bad thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
That's true. Well, I could see something where maybe an agenda that let you split your deck into characters and non-characters. There might be something there with some special rules about drawing from each, one. Yeah.
That could get quite brutal with some of the new was it Tyrell legation?
Oh yeah.
It's a character, why? Because it has to be a character.
Well, we're gonna have a restricted list at some point anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Just go nuts. Maybe. Just go nuts. If it's bad, if it's broken, restrict it.
So big news this week. Obviously, we've got the Faith Militant agenda, which I'm quite excited about. I wasn't sure about it initially, but 2 reasons I'm excited about this. Firstly, those Faith Militant look freaking awesome in the art.
Yeah, I mean they've got the sweet sword and like the 7-pointed star, and it's like glowing everywhere. I mean, the Reigns of Castamere, like that agenda, there's no glow.
No?
It's just a couple of lions, but the Faith Militant is like, oh man, it's got like all the colors of a rainbow, and this sword's just gonna totally, capture the light of the sun and just like smash everybody.
But the awesome is the High Septon though. Mm-hmm. I'm really intrigued to see him as a character. I've no idea if he's going to be amazing or not. Mm-hmm. But the thing I like the most about him is, obviously, as people say, we can just nightmares him. Cool. Mm-hmm. His effect is for the whole turn.
Yes.
So you've got to be really careful when you choose to nightmares him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, like someone like Tyrell's probably quite easy. Okay, I've got these things I kneel to gain gold, so I'm just going to nightmares you in the marshalling phase, kneel to gain more gold, and also then play a pleasure bar so you can draw more cards because he restricts. Was it 7 gold? You can only draw 3 cards?
Yeah. Each player cannot gain more than 7 gold each round, and each player cannot draw more than 3 cards each round.
Now, this is great. I mean, this is a real... I mean, not just for the Faith Militant deck, just for putting him into a normal deck.
I admit, even though cards that have a detrimental effect to both players often, in the history of card games, often are generally regarded as pretty underpowered. I really like them as deck building challenges. Yeah. If nothing else.
And that's the big thing with him, because obviously if you're running him, you're building your deck around that restriction. Mm-hmm. So maybe you don't have as much draw in your deck because you can't make the most of it, I guess. Mm-hmm. I guess if you take counting coppers out, how many times, unless you've really gone draw heavy with insight and stuff like that, how many times are you drawing 3 cards a turn anyway?
Well, if you're Night's Watch, you're drawing 3. Well, Night's Watch, actually, you're probably drawing 3 cards a turn if you get
a Messenger Raven,
If you get like a Messenger Raven or somebody with insight. So I could see him working really well with Night's Watch.
Yeah, you probably need to drop counting coppers at that point.
Yeah, you drop counting coppers and you get this guy in here.
Just quickly, just like summons and building orders, that counts as drawing a card, doesn't it?
They probably count as putting it in your hand, actually, which is different.
The thing I love about this game.
Yes. Let's find out. Oh, well, I've got Thrones TV up right now. Add it to your hand.
Add it to your hand. Oh, okay. So there we go. So you can still run those and have and 1 Messenger Raven a turn.
Yeah, there you go.
So actually that's. But again, it's something you got to build your deck around, and also 7 gold. That's still a lot of gold, and we still have a lot of things which you just kneel to reduce the cost of something. Mm-hmm. So I'm almost wondering if they went too careful with 7. I reckon they possibly could have pushed that a bit more.
I think 7's about right, largely because what you don't want to have a situation where your opponent is completely unable to play the cards that they've been excited to put in their decks.
But that's what Great Halls.
Great Halls allow it. Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, I feel like 7. If you're gonna establish like a nice little border, 7's probably it. Maybe 6. 5 I'd say is too low.
Yeah. Maybe. So, but I think it's going to be an interesting thing. I got an interesting debate with someone online where they seem to think he would work really well for Kings of Winter. My point is I actually don't think so, because you're actually helping your opponent get to 7 gold.
No, absolutely. If you want that limit to matter, you want him to be the only one. It's got to be the one that's doing the work.
I said actually you want the converse. What's the new location? The one where you gain 2 gold and you give your opponent 1 gold.
See, that's perfect.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. No, you want to be giving your opponent gold. You don't want to be taking it away. Because that way you can now run
their own gold gain becomes a waste.
And you can run lower gold curve plots because you're getting more of a benefit out of your locations. Obviously, you need to see, and this is where the big thing comes in. How much do you build a deck around a guy you might not see?
Yeah, that seems to be that's the eternal problem of a lot of these sorts of cards. I mean, summons sure helps. I mean, your odds of using summons to get this guy is pretty high, but then you're starting to spend quite a bit of effort to get this guy out there. So hopefully there'll be like a search event to find 7 characters.
That'd be quite cool.
In the Faith Militant, that would be really nice.
The other one I could potentially see is Tyrell using 6. You got the Oathbreak. Is it Oathbreak? keeper, the sword, the Newler sword, where you sacrifice it to find a non-Tyrell character.
Yeah, there you go.
But again, that's. I mean, how many of those you want to put in to find him?
Yeah.
You know, it's an interesting thing, and it's one of the great things in life right now is deck building. I'm struggling with the meta right now because just deck building is all over the place for me, and there's so many cool decks.
I can tell you exactly where the meta is going right now. I found out because my coughing over in the episode, it's been indicative of how much time I've gotten to spend with Iron Throne instead of going to work lately. So I can tell you exactly where the meta's going, and it's Targaryen.
Yes, I played. So I was trying out. I did a slightly updated version of the Queen Cersei Heads on Spikes and Tyrion's Chain deck today.
Okay.
And I played the same guy 3 times in a row, and he played Targ. And first 2 games, he had a 6 gold Astapor.
He's going all in on Astapor.
I still won the first game. I lost the other 2. But yeah, it is a lot of Targ. I've been playing some Targ Red Door, House of Red Door to get Plaza of Pride. And yeah,
Plaza of Pride or Plaza of Punishment?
Punishment.
Punishment. Yeah, I see. You're trying to get full value.
Yeah.
Well, I built a Targaryen deck, and it has House of the Red Door. Except I have a location even better. It's Fleabottom. Because Fleabottom is nuts.
Gold. It's 1 gold though.
It doesn't matter. It's that darn good. It's amazing. Yeah, Fleabottom's amazing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna jam in 3 Second Sons. Yeah. 3 Kothos to just load up for this Fleabottom. All right. You just go nuts. 3 Consuming Flames, 3 Plazas of Pride. You don't care. You've got your Fleabottom out there. And it's not getting blown up or anything. Consuming
Flames is pretty good. And I played all against it with my Baratheon Brotherhood deck that I've made, but I've been quite lucky. My Intrigues and my Scene in Flames did a lot of work.
Yeah, I've actually been, since I love Baratheon so much, I've been considering this fact a lot. I think that Baratheon receiving Queensmen is actually it's good timing right now if Targaryen's coming back, because you get to zap the Consuming Flames and the Dracarys before the challenge phase.
Obviously, the big thing
that's very important.
The big thing being that only really works in a Banner or Brotherhood deck. Because
this is true.
Because you obviously that restriction of non-Baratheon card to be knelt is pretty big.
But even if you can't, you still know it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first game, I still lost because Baratheon I still think is a bad matchup against Targ.
Oh yeah, it's historically
it's one of the worst.
Targaryen has been the arch enemy of Baratheon. Chronicle and Melisandre.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The first game I played against it when I was on stream, and I went, right, okay, you've got Scene of Flames. Oh, you got Dracarys, but you've also got Crown of Gold. I don't have a choice in this matter. The Crown of Gold's got to go because otherwise Mel is dead.
Yep.
Just dead. But the big thing out there, if this House of the Red Door Plaza of Punishment deck comes in, then this means we're going to get something which I want, and I think Valadar Harris was going to bring in the meta, except as we were talking offline, I don't think Valadar Harris has been as big an impact as it possibly could have.
Okay.
Positive attachments. Because you've got positive attachments, you can't be hit by Plaza of Pride, and you can't be hit by Dragon is No Slave.
This is true, although let's take a look. Let's take a look at Consuming Flames again. Nope.
No, that can hit you, but you still have to be a participating character for that one.
Yeah, this is true.
So basically, you've got Plaza. The 2 which you don't have to be a participating character for. Then, if you've got a positive attachment, you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the 3 which you don't, obviously you have to be participating, so you can still play around that.
This is true, but even so, Queensmen good in a Targaryen meta.
Well, so I just tried them out, partly because in my Brotherhood deck, partly because obviously I've been using Shy Priestess.
Okay.
They're not as good as they used to be.
Shy Priestess?
Yeah, because a lot of stuff has got a lot of high strength buffs than it used to.
Sure. Yeah.
And you're coming in, you're needing something that's got a strength 2. So really, you're looking at reducers. That's all right. It's not amazing. Like if you're playing against Night's Watch or Stark, once they've got the Wall or Winterfell out, you're not really kneeling anything of use.
Yeah.
Against Targ, you're only really kneeling one of the dragons, or maybe.
This is true. Targaryen does have a lot of cheap characters that have more than 2 strength.
Yes, that does seem to be a theme of theirs with at least 4 or 5 characters that have, I can think off the top of my head, that have a lower gold to strength ratio, which is just bonkers. So I've been finding them not as useful. So I thought let's just whack in. Yeah, it's a Brotherhood deck. Let's whack in the Queen's Men. They've been doing really good work. As you say, even just the ability to go right. What's in your hand? Oh, okay. You've got put to the sword. Fine. I now know I've got to play around put to the sword. Just that information alone can be worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's pretty great. Yeah.
So just having a quick flick. So obviously, we've got the next pack, which next Monday. So a week as we record this, probably 5 or 6 days after we put this out.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we've got Ramsay Snow. Has been announced. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a deck he's going to work in, but I wasn't as blown away. I think they've obviously gone for similar effects as they've done with Roos.
Sure.
The whole sacrifice, make people sacrifice characters, and obviously there is going to be some synergy here with Lannister because of their Harrenhal.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. Unless you've done like a real, unless you're going to bring him in with Harrenhal after you've battered your opponents, board state, maybe like a trial by combat and a couple of and a military to reduce their board state down. The ability doesn't seem fantastic.
I don't quite recall. Does he have an intrigue icon?
Yeah, he does. He's military intrigue.
Oh, well, there you go. That's one thing that's nice. Is it's nice to see that. It's nice to see houses getting characters that have icons that are not traditionally in that house's wheelhouse. House. So yeah, the wheelhouse house. So it's nice to see that. I remember thinking the same thing about one of the recent Drowned God characters. I think it's the one from the Taro box that is power and intrigue. It's just nice to see intrigue. It's nice to see start getting some intrigue icons. That way you have a lot more deck building choices. Let's say you want to bump your intrigue count, you have choices to be able to do that. So I don't know. He's unique and he's got an intrigue icon. I mean, that's good all by itself.
Yeah, and I think he's also got some synergy with the Fat Cat when the
sacrifice.
Yeah, when the the Space Militant agenda comes out, because I think that you could see a Fat Cat deck in there, and obviously ability to just come in and just sacrifice a character.
Yeah, do it.
Just to give her a power. That could be pretty strong. The Dreadful, again, this seems to be a Lannister card because
right, it says non-Stark, doesn't it?
Yeah, but House Bolton or non-Stark, so they've definitely got that synergy of Banner Wolf with all the House Bolton stuff. Otherwise, I'm quite looking for, obviously. Do we do the spoilers now for our ones? We're talking about this?
No.
Okay.
It's like I told you, Ben. You just hold back. Hold back.
Because game for the pack.
It'll be sweeter when we get there.
It will be sweeter when we get there. Yes. Obviously, again, we'll see it. I'm trying to think now. I mean, the Asher. Obviously, the Asher is pretty nice.
Yeah.
I
once
worry
again,
about the
intrigue icons in factions that are not used to having intrigue icons. That's great.
The issue here I'm thinking of, and it's a great conundrum to have for deck building. It's very similar in some respects to Fat Cat, Queen Cersei, and Ariadne, with the new ones coming out.
Right.
The problem is, if you're taking the high cost character, you're taking away a really important cost slot, which like Asher feels. I mean, there's not many good 5 cost characters for Greyjoy.
That's true. There really aren't.
So by taking her, you're really stripping away that really strong ability. I mean, you got the Reader, but he's only really good if you're doing the unopposed tech.
That's right.
He can work in a pillage deck, but he's better with the unopposed deck. And you got Nate the Butcher now.
He also got what's his name? The winter one.
Yeah, but again, that's only for any winter.
Yeah.
God, Greyjoy need a box. Big box.
You know what? Every faction needs a box.
No. Was it Baratheon needs?
Well, Baratheon needs the most.
They need 2 boxes.
Yes, they do. Yeah, just to make up for it. Yeah.
Now, do you think we're going to see the pillage deck come to the front now?
I think I've in my explorations on the IronThrone.net, I think it's already happening. I think people are trying it out, which is great. It's nice to see themes finally start being rounded out. to the point where even if the pillage deck may not be like, tier 1, it's nice to see that there's one that's playable, that you can actually put one together and you're rewarded for identifying all these interactions with pillage and actually like trying to get something going.
Now, there was 2 pillage decks that were doing the rounds about this time last year, actually.
Weren't they like Lannister Kraken though?
They were Lannister Kraken and Lannister Tyrell.
See, neither of those are Greyjoy.
No,
so they're doing it wrong.
Well, I don't know. The Lannister Tyrell deck was Tywin's Casino.
That's right.
Yeah, that was a pretty good deck actually. That ability to use Bear the Maiden Fair to stack the top of the deck.
Yeah, but you were all in on Gregor Clegane.
Not just him, but yeah, the Tickler as well. Tywin's ability is pretty good, and that only got better with Corpse Lake, which we did say we met at the final.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it defined the melee meta at Starlight 2017.
Whammer, I was chatting to him about Red Door decks, and he actually thinks there's probably a Greyjoy Red Door deck using Corpse Lake.
Yeah, there probably is.
And not melee, we're talking about actual jouster.
Yeah. I mean, if pillage is to be a thing, then Corpse Lake sounds like it would fit right into it. And being able to use, and it sounds like Corpse Lake would be so key to that using Red Door to get it out would probably be pretty nice. Now, personally, I think that Greyjoy Red Door, I mean, Grey Kraken's great, but I don't know. Greyjoy in that Fort Gold setup, I think, hurts a little bit.
They can leverage it a bit. If you go slightly mini curve, you've got the scout ships, if you take the rate, because you probably, even you are going pillage heavy, it's still a risk to take the stupid markets. So you're probably still looking at Sea Tower and Rose Roads. So you potentially got 9 0-cost cards.
This is true, but at the same time, it's my opinion that Greyjoy, part of their power throughout 2017 was, the latter half of 2017 was how they were able to leverage their suite of high cost characters.
Yeah, no,
and especially how they work together so well.
Hey, I do agree with that, but I'm just saying that they potentially can run a slightly bit like the Baratheon deck with all the big guys, but it was quite top heavy and bottom heavy, and it was like in the middle was quite barren. I think you could see a similar deck to that.
A lot of Greyjoy's good pillages in the middle.
Only
Silence's crew, Blackwind's crew.
Blackwind's crew's free cost. I consider them. Yes. I consider that mini in all fairness. I do agree. Silence's crews for me 4 and above is where you're not really mini. It's the 4-5 costs. I think they could probably strip away a little bit, especially if you go for the new Asher.
Yeah, well, actually, this is leaning to something. All right. So maybe since a lot of the pillage. I mean, except for me, so you're looking at Euron and 7 Gold Asha as your high-end pillage. What if you did that and you maybe drop Balon entirely?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably put Victarion in here because he's amazing.
He's good. Yeah. And also the Crown of Salt and Rock's the thing.
Yeah, you can have the Crown of Salt and Rock, good on setup, since it's so cheap. And then you have kind of 4 and below. Silence's crew, you have Blackwind's crew. You have Lil Theon because he's just amazing, and
him with Crown of Salt and Rock is really
good. There you go. Yeah, and so I'm thinking maybe you can kind of dial back the big guys of Greyjoy, and in favor of ones with lots of pillage.
You've also got that, I can't remember his name, but the new 4-coster, the one where you can remove a card from the game, and you can't play that card until he dies.
Yeah, I've been told by a few of my friends that Tris Botley can really. Yeah, he can really shut somebody down if he hits an important card.
Yep. It has an important card in the deck after his pillage, isn't it? I think it's like Euron.
Yeah.
It's not the card he actually pillages. Oh, you've used you've used the Dracarys, have you? Okay.
Yeah, no more. And the key is he's an action. You can remove a card from the game every turn. And so it's not like he comes into play and your opponent can't play one card. Every turn he's on the board, that's another card they can't play, while he's on the board. And I'm like, that's great. I mean, and of course, the fact that he can stuff a flea bottom strategy, that's just also super great.
Yeah, no, and Greyjoy is probably one of the best houses for countering Greyjoy, countering flea bottom anyway, but that just gives them that other leverage.
Be like, Second Sons, you're out of here.
Yeah, Second Sons, they can't play this anymore.
Nope.
Just can't play them. Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're all gone. Why? Because Triss just went up and smiled. That gorgeous smile of his, and they went, oh, that's a fair point, Triss. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I like how since he's 4 cost, you could even build a strategy around him and First Note Winter, where like let's say you get like a dragon in the discard pile, you remove it with Triss, and then like let's say a dupe of a dragon goes in the discard pile, right? You remove it with Triss, and then they can't replay it. Yeah. They can't play that same dragon because it's out of the game. Yeah, I think there's some. I think that guy's pretty sweet.
No, I think there's definitely some. I need to make a Greyjoy Pillage deck. I need to make a deck for this weekend. I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to play yet.
Just play Tyrell, Reigns of Castamere. I still think that deck's really good.
It's my backup plan if I can't make anything else work.
And you know why it's really, really good? Because Targaryen is really good. And if Targaryen's good, then Tyrell's good.
Yeah, it is true. No, it is true. It's sad, but it's true.
Wardens of the South against Targaryen, I mean, it's just roll them.
You can still die at the end of the challenge, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But still, you see where I'm going. The Tyrell strength buff is like, the immovable object to counter the unstoppable force of Targaryen. Yeah.
Yes.
But, just do it.
I've had a couple of decks sent to me, and I'm gonna play. I have got a Night's Watch Red Door deck, but Whammer thinks I've gone the wrong way with it.
I don't know if it's Brendan's gift.
No, because I wouldn't bring myself to do builders. Not for this not for this. Maybe regionals or something, but not for this Store Championship.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Now it was using the White Tree.
Okay.
So basically, I was just using the White Tree as a guaranteed good like econ card for setup.
Yeah.
That was kind of the plan. It's kind of mostly a good stuff deck otherwise. I've got 3 Mega contributions just to kind of
push it a little harder.
Push it a bit harder, yeah. And I've got 3 of the Recruiter of the Watch.
Okay.
Just instill a couple of characters. But yeah, no, Amazon's like, no, should we go down all the Mutiny at Castle Black and all that type of stuff. But the problem I have is that's not really my style. I don't really like playing decks like that.
Okay.
I like doing challenges and defending challenges and not just stealing stuff. Which is fine. That's other people's style. It's fine. As I say, I like the fact there's lots of different types of decks, and you've got.
Yeah, that's something where I think we're starting to see with this cycle is we're starting to see some themes get like, for example, Pillage just get rounded out. Yeah. And then later we've got a whole agenda that's going to like bring a new theme right into existence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is quite good to see. I mean, we have Pack 4, which is promising to round out R'hllor. I
don't think she's very good. I'm not convinced by
Selyse Baratheon?
No. I think if you want to be running a 7-cost Baratheon character, she's probably the worst option because she only works for a turn. Now, yes, people say to you, if you get her on the right turn, and they are right, if you get her on the right turn, she could be brutal.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind. Well, one thing to note is as classic Baratheon players, I mean, we know that a single Melisandre Neil could make such a difference. So the trick is with Selyse is, just have her being like Ulta Mela, Ulta Melisandre Neil, where you just slam her down on like a key turn to just to just stop your opponent from doing very many challenges to you.
So just a quick thing. Actually, I'll bring up a second. I've done a search, but we'll have a chat about a second. But yeah, no, you are probably right. I do think the only issue I can see it maybe like in a Banner Rose deck. Is all Men of Fools loyal?
Yes, that one's loyal.
No, that counts.
No, it's still fine. I actually kind of like Wolf because you get Sansa and Arya.
Yeah, but
and Arya's pretty cheap. She's also got stealth to deal with the the remaining people. Brienne's good out of Tyrell. Because she acts as a military icon. There really aren't very many ladies with military icons except for like Arya and Brienne.
And Arya's one is
conditional.
Conditional, yeah. I mean, obviously you're probably going to have it, but it's not 100% guarantee.
Yeah, but it sounds like the power is kind of unquestioned. It's really about what do you do with that the rest of that turn.
Yeah, I'm just not quite so convinced. Maybe there's a Stannis deck core Stannis deck that runs a.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. You don't really see core Stannis anymore. There's too much Stan these days.
Not only that, but we've been seeing a lot of resets come out. So boards, like it's not like core when you could have like 10 characters on the board. This just doesn't happen anymore.
It can happen.
Yeah, like it just doesn't happen like in your typical game. Your typical game is going to have like 4 versus 4.
My Knight's mini curve deck says otherwise, but yes.
Yeah, but your opponent's messing up. That's the thing. Like everybody now has tools to like say, man, he's got like 8 characters on the board. I better do something about this.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced. I mean, I'm sure it might be one of those cards I end up being wrong about. I'm just not. I don't know. It's something that I'm not quite convinced yet. But
it's going to be worth trying out.
Oh no, I'm sure I will. Baratheon. I'm sure we're trying out. So just a quick one. So I just went on for Friends DB, and I'm sure some people have, and just put in the 7 trait to see what comes up. There's only currently 14 cards that have the 7 trait, of which, and that includes the High Sparrow, the Faith Militant Agenda, that's been spoiled. Of them. And obviously, does bear in mind. I mean, obviously, I'm sure we're going to get more support for this agenda. But at the moment, only one of these characters can actually gain power.
Can actually have power?
Can gain power, yeah, which is Catelyn Stark.
Catelyn Stark, right?
That is it. All the other ones are support characters that can't gain power.
It's kind of like how Brotherhood without banners when there's like 1 Brotherhood character, 2 maybe.
Yeah, 2 now. Well, yeah, there's 2, but one of them doesn't have the trait. I'm sure. I think that's changed. I believe the next pack there's another one coming out.
Yeah. If you take a look here, I mean, the Faith Militant, it does say after you win a challenge near your faction card to move 1 power from the losing opponent's faction card to a participating the 7 character you control.
Yeah. But here's the other thing. Only 2 houses currently have 7 characters.
Stark and.
Interesting to get the last one. It's only just come out.
Oh, it's just come out? I'm not going to know this.
Sept.
Sept and Hysterica.
Yes.
Yeah, Tyrell. Okay. Interesting. And interestingly enough, man, we're going side notes on side notes. If you look at the like the spread of cards, as part of that came as part of the Favor of the Old Gods announcement, there is a Tyrell attachment that causes a character to gain the 7 trait.
Well, there we go. So Tyrell potentially, but it does potentially limit the houses that you can actually run this out of. Now, obviously, there is the Song of the 7. After you use Dominance Gate, move 2 power from the winning opponent's faction card to the 7 character you control.
Oh, I'm so glad they put a limit on that.
Yeah, yes. Maximum once per phase.
Thank you.
And another one of these cards actually is coming out in the Sounds of Dawn box set, which is Beyond Reproach. Which is one where all each player sacrifices these attachments that is attached to a character he or she does not control.
Oh, so this is Fantasy Flight's way of responding to Cycle 2 meta of Milk of the Poppy and the Craven.
Yes.
I know how they work. You get your answer like 3 cycles later.
It's a bit too late, yeah. It's I remember, again, sidetrack a little bit, but I remember a Netrunner interview with Damon. And he was talking about some of the choices why they went down with CTM, which is which became the dominant ID. And he said, the problem was CTM was the answer to a meta which no longer existed once they started testing, because all the cards that were coming out with CTM would stop that meta.
Yeah.
Whatever. So you've also got. So the other one is one of the other 7 characters. I'm not sure how useful it's going to be. It's the House Tully Septon. Discard 1 power from a character you control to reduce the cost of the next House Tully or 7 character you marshal by 2.
It seems to fit right in, considering that the agenda puts a power on the 7 character.
But the issue being, I don't know. I'm always wary of abilities which reduce.
Give up your power.
Give up your power.
Well, if you're planning to fire off a reset anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the exceptions being any ones that have saves, so like Victarion and Theos, because they're probably dying anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So you might as well use it.
Well, if you don't, you either use the power, you'll lose the power, with the case of, say, Victarion.
But, otherwise you've got you've got the Silent Sisters, but which could be useful in this. But the issue I see of them, especially at the Stark build, is the Stark's about sacrificing, not killing your own character. I mean, it does work on killing your characters, but most of the time you are sacrificing your Stark characters. So obviously they're not going to add to the strength of the Silent Sisters.
True. Well, I mean, Silent Sisters is kind of a default option. You're gonna put it into any Faith Militant deck. I mean, I think the Silent Sisters are very underrated. I think they were.
No, it's the best draft card in draft.
Oh yeah, it's the best draft card, of course.
By a mile.
Yeah, by like a mile. Yeah. But yeah, I got a story about that one. I drafted 3.
I won a draft tournament. My friend, I won a draft. The only reason I won it is because my friend had 2 or 3 of them out, and I found my what's it? It's Ilan Payne.
Oh.
So all he was doing was just chopping off the Silent Sister heads because I was like, it's all I can do. I can't win the game until they're dead because he was like, I'm going to block this power for 9 with one of them. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think their time was really big in the in like the heavy Valar Morghulis meta, which jury's still out on whether we're still in it. But
I still think it's the premier reset myself, but I think it has definitely fallen back.
It's settled.
Yeah, it's not. You don't expect every deck to run it anymore, which is sad in some ways.
Yeah. It's just, but I think, I think they're very underrated, the Silent Sisters, and they're going to go straight into like any Faith Militant deck, I'd say, because it's very easy to get them up to like strength 5, or greater,
and then free cost strength 5, and
never they have a power icon, and if you're going to play Faith Militant, you need a way to close the game, so winning power challenges is probably a good way to do it. Also, keep in mind, in order to trigger your Faith Militant agenda, you do need to win a challenge, and the Silent Sisters will help you do that.
The other one, obviously, being Begging Brothers, will be in every Faith Militant deck.
Yeah, Begging Brothers is also another interesting card that we got out of later 2017. I mean, I'm glad it's in there. I think it's another one of those where it's like it could go in every deck, but we're still trying to like figure out which ones it actually goes into.
So my both my Brotherhood decks have got them, and
if you're running Ocean Roads, that guy's great.
It's amazing how many people forget about them and forget about their ability. And what they can stop.
Yeah, he's super good. I mean, the problem I ran into is I jammed him into, like, right when they came out, I jammed him into Baratheon, and then I realized, wait a minute, I've got a Baratheon reducer, I've got the Great Hall.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Your cost curve has to be designed to have them in there.
Yeah, so you're looking at, like, King's Roads or High Gold Plots or Ocean Roads. And I think Ocean Roads are, especially in this cycle, because, Danny has promoted this cycle as being the cycle about bannering and out of faction cards, that I think Ocean Roads are ready to make a roaring return.
I think it's also, until the High Septon comes out, the fact that we've also just generally got more gold to play with, because you've got most houses have got good econ options now.
Yeah, like 6 out of 8.
Yeah, most houses. I've tried using that Stark one again. Oh, no.
Yeah, it seems good.
It's just too many.
Your opponent doesn't play a summer plot,
which most people do play summer plots. Just as a general rule, most people play summer plots, which is frustrating. It
seems good, until
I'm coming around to think the Night's Watch one's the best.
Oh yeah, because it always works.
Pretty much 9 times out of 10, yeah. Oh damn, this one you play Counting Coppers this time. It doesn't work this one turn.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh wait, but you're Tyrell. I triggered it.
that moment in the penny drops when it goes, as long as the Rose Roads and the Arbor all count. It's like, yep. Oh.
Yeah. It really should have been printed. I think it should have been printed
on the plot. Potentially, I think they might have gone too far with that, but yeah. So. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'll be interested. I'll probably make some decks of it. I'm not sure how good they'll be initially, and I'm sure there'll be some I think Stark are looking for an agenda at the moment, and that could be where Stark end up going.
Oh, a Stark. Well, I think when we're talking about looking for an agenda, I think there was one agenda we did not touch on earlier, and that is the Wars to Come.
Now, no, this is a really, really good agenda.
This thing is so good.
Yes. Yeah. So the amount of time, especially like my start, and I think Wars to Come, my Stark Fun deck might be getting the War to Come, because the issue I always have with that is I want to take 2 Behind the Gates, and I want to take some other things to kind of help with the whole control element. Yeah. The issue I've got is I struggle to put a reset in because I basically need 8 plots. Well.
Yeah, no problem anymore.
Yeah, that's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the, as the game is, grown, I mean, one of the arguments against using fealty and against using Reigns of Castamere, those are two very default agendas, is that, oh yeah, like they require you to kneel your house card. Well, Wars to Come, nope, don't have to kneel your house card.
Yeah.
So if you want an agenda, you want to use your house card on things like Iron Bank, will have its due, for example, or, back to the specific stuff that requires you kneeling your house card. This agenda is great. And then on top of that, it's like you build a plot deck and then you make it better.
Yeah. The other things I've thought about as well is a bit like Reigns. When I first saw Reigns, I was like, oh, okay, I think Lannister's going to like this.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought, maybe Martell.
Yeah.
I don't really know how else is going to like it.
But then front of the show, James Whamma Wamsley blew our minds, with Tyrell.
And then Greyjoy started running it.
Yeah, that was a weird one, but it makes sense.
It does, and Targ in some respect, though. I still think Targ Reigns is a good deck, but there's an argument for our Targ. And also, you're like, well, actually, this isn't just a Lannister thing. I mean, even Stark have been running it, and Baratheon.
I think what's gone on is, I think what happened was it's become a default agenda. If your deck has enough economy to function without needing fealty, then just play Reigns.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And that's where the Wars to Come is going to, I think, change. And obviously, Martell got a new plot, so Martell immediately have
of course.
More, and they like to get through the plots as quick as possible. And you're potentially going to see like a Ricasso and like you counting as being like 11 plots in. Which is going to be ridiculous, but no, that will be more of a traditional. I'm going to do challenges Martell deck, so I think that's fine in my opinion. But I think every house can make a deck out of it, and a bit like we're saying, like with the green site, if you can't think of a better agenda to take, you don't need the fealty bonus. You say just take this.
Just take Wars to Come.
Yeah,
I mean it's basically you take your deck. And then it gets even better because you put Wars to Come in there. And then being able to include a second copy of up to 2 different plot cards, that's just overkill. Like it did not need that to be pretty incredible. But it's even better. Yeah.
They could have quite happily have just kept it. Yeah, you can run 10 plots. That second ability was like, whoa, okay.
That's just overkill. Yeah.
So it'd be interesting, like Core Doran might actually start coming useful when that's out.
Well, keep in mind we're getting a new Doran Martell that actually does something to affect the board, in the same box. So we'll see. Yeah, he removes icons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he prevents somebody from participating in the challenge. That's great. That's the thing. The core Doran, he's 6 for 4, which in the first cycle was kind of a problem because you needed 6 for 5s, to really compete. And then his ability didn't really kick in. It was just hard to get him to work well. Plus, Martell does not have a lot of lords and ladies.
No, but they do now, but they didn't then.
Even now, it's not. It's not exactly Tyrell.
No, it's not Tyrell. But they have got enough lords and ladies, I think, to make him worthwhile now. And there has been some Reigns decks that have used.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the Doran that's been announced, he actually affects the board.
But if you go for the Core Doran with new Ariane and this,
that's one of the decks I've been playing around with lately. Yeah.
But the new Doran was going to work really well with the Red Viper. The new Red Viper.
Well,
you do like a Chud Intrigue challenge, and go on then, defend the challenge. I dare you. And it's also going to work really well. That also works really well. Darkstar.
Yeah, that's a deck I've been building. I've been building and really tweaking lately. Is actually a Darkstar deck, because I think Darkstar really he really helps put the theme of characters having being forced to have 2 icons or less. Well, less than 2 icons. I think it really puts it over the top because just by attacking you can strip an icon off a character. It's like he's your 4th, 5th, and 6th copy of Nymeria Sand.
He's and it's one, and I think the newer Red Viper is definitely a card I need to try more of. I've not used him enough. That's the thing, I've used him once.
Yeah.
Which is where I use Core Red Viper loads because
I love it.
I was
so much blow up potential. Yeah.
In the first cycle or so, I was such a Martell little fanboy trying to make them work. In fact, for my first World Champion was with Martell back in just after Nymeria had come out.
Oh yes, yeah, those are the good times.
Yeah, I think Nymeria and Tainted had come out, and I just kept winning. I just won every game with Dawn's game.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, you could totally just punch that hole through. And I think Darkstar, brings us back to that era where it felt good to be like, I'm going to Tainted that guy, I'm going to Nymeria that guy, and now I'm going to stealth that guy with the Darkstar and take that icon, and then I'm going to go in with the Red Viper for like a 15 strength, intrigue challenge and gain 4 power off of it.
Oh, so good. So good.
In fact, this sort of deck was actually Regionals 2016. I made top 8 at a regional using this exact sort of strategy out of Martell Lion. I mean, I had plenty of games that basically came down to I intrigue for 11 with Oberyn and Tyrion, stealth that guy, and I've attained that other guy, and okay, unopposed, that's 3 power, Tears of Bliss, it's such a big swing, and it's nice to see that Darkstar it kind of brings us back to those times. I mean, he's 5 cost. He's 4 strength. He's right there with Nymeria.
I was about to say, do we want to stop being mean and actually describe him fully?
I was just getting to that. Man, did you see my smooth transition there? Smooth transition.
Smooth's one word for it. I would say, I will be honest, I'm also improving the card art on my iPad with Draw.
Oh, okay. You know what I think we should do? I think we should get your daughter to improve the card art.
Just need to get that playmat made.
Yeah, is she home right now?
She's asleep.
Damn it! Can you wake her up?
No.
You sure?
Anyway, I think I've done a better job. I've given him a blue beard and blue hair.
But that makes him more like Darian Harris.
I know, it's great. And a yellow sword now. Okay. Let's say Darkstar. We'll go on the spoilers. So we've got the spoilers for the next pack, and as Matt I'll allow Matt to continue with.
He's 5 cost. He's 4 strength. He has House Dane and Knight traits. Just like a House Dane Knight, he's a House Dane Knight. He's got military and intrigue icons. He is not loyal, and he has stealth. And oh god, I got to pull up the image. I was doing so well. I got to pull up. You describe his text.
I've got it. Yeah, so it's got reaction. After Darkstar bypasses a character using stealth, that character loses a challenge icon of your choice until the end of the phase.
Yeah, it's just like the way Nymeria was, except see, he's kind of like Nymeria. I mean, he's more limited in like a certain way, but he's got the stealth keyword. And he's got icons of his own, which Nymeria does not.
No, so the thing my initial first thoughts were my Tyrell Knights deck, Bannermen to Sun.
Oh, so, more Knights? Why not?
More Knights. Now, this is going to make more sense with the second card we'll spoil in the second. Actually, let's spoil that one now. Let's do this one now. So the other card...
Just do it. You've been... I can just hear you, over the cast. You've been bouncing in your seat, like ready to be like, I just want to talk about this card. I just want to talk about this amazing card that's going to put my deck over the top.
I'm not sure it's put the deck over the top, but there's a couple of things which I have alluded to in the cast where I like this. So this is a one cost attachment, the Sandsteed, just called Sandsteed. It's a Warhorse traded. Limit 1 copy per character. Reaction.
Oh yeah.
After summer plot enters the use pile, the attached character gains 1 power. So.
And that's it. That's what it does.
That's what it does.
It causes your characters to gain power after. Now, one thing I really like about this card is the fact that it triggers off of a summer plot entering the used pile, which means the turn you marshal it, before your next marshaling phase, you're going to gain a power.
Yes. Now, obviously, stuff like Valor could potentially stop this.
Sure.
And because obviously both plots have to be used, don't they? You have to do both plots, as in the text.
Wait, could you say that text again? Because it might be better than I thought it was.
When a summer plot enters the use pile.
Is there a limit on that?
Gains 1 power. Well, yeah. Well, the limit is you can only have one. Oh no, there isn't.
So if you and your opponent have summer plots revealed and they both entered the use pile, do you get to trigger the reaction twice?
It doesn't say limit once per phase, so I guess so.
Oh my god.
Oh, and it's your use pile. Your use
pile.
No,
okay.
Yeah, okay.
I was about to say, in Melee, that'd be ridiculous. Yeah, I'll just pay this 1 gold and I'll gain 3 power off of your 3... summer plots. Okay, so it's your use pile. So what you want to do with this is you want to play, play a summer plot, put this on a character, then that plot's going to go to the use pile. Oh, it says just entering the use pile, right?
Yeah.
So that event we just received in Pack 2, change of plans. Reaction. After you lose a challenge, if there are fewer than 5 plot cards in your use pile, move a card from your plot deck to the bottom of your use pile. If it's summer traded, boom, there's another power right there.
Yeah, potentially. That's the best potential. The main thing I was looking at it for is, so I've been running Tyrell Knights and Tyrell Brothers Without Banners, both night themes, and you run a lot of summer plots in that. So yes. Tyrell likes summer because of their econ is summer based.
Yeah.
So you are basically just playing summer plots and gaining power for nothing. Also, we've just talked a lot about the fact that Targ's everywhere, and 2 of the main Targ burn cards can't hit characters with attachments.
This is true.
For 1 gold, I'm keeping my Marge, my Randall, and my Knight of Flowers, whoever, safe from at least some of the burn. Not all the burn, unfortunately. On top of the fact that Tyrell have strength buffs we already talked about, so you can just buff the strengths up. I think that I'm toying around with a deck with this in. Both these cards in, actually.
I actually like this because you've got Darkstar gives you knights. Darkstar's a knight. He has stealth. This card, he also works kind of with the knight theme.
Yeah.
And so what you could do is you could flip, say, Turning for the King. Darkstar has Renown now. It's a summer plot, so that means all your horses are going to give power as well. It means your Robar Royce is going to trigger and give you another power as well.
Yeah, and then some of the decks I've been running, he's been a free off because you want to see him early.
You want to see him so that way he can, accumulate a couple of power. So between Darkstar and this, and then maybe I don't know if you want to go change of plans, but Condemned.
Yeah.
Because your most important challenge is power. Like, I think you've got the makings of a Tyrell Sun Knights deck.
I would also, I did also think, cool, you could bring all the intrigue icons in with the summer trait, with the Tyrell Knights, but actually, Tyrell have a lot of knights with intrigue icons.
That's true. Arbor Knight, Green Apple Knight. Yeah.
That's not quite as good as you think it would be.
But key thing here is it is nice to see something that it is nice to see a couple of cards that given to Martell that fit in a theme but are not the same theme they've been seeing for pack after pack after pack. Darkstar arguably works best when you go first, which is totally against what everything Martell has seen so far. And this Steed, it works with summer plots, which is something we've seen a little bit of mainly in form of the Greenblood.
Yeah, and that is, I know there's people who are, I respect their opinions of, who think Greenblood Red Door is actually a really good idea.
So I'm gonna back this up because I've been working on. In this week I've been sick. I've actually been played quite a bit of Martell Fealty with 7 gold Ariane Martell, and every single game I wish I had the Greenblood because you know why? I need to bounce 5 gold characters with her, and if I had the Greenblood, I could totally do it. Sorry, 5 strength characters. So we're talking Red Door, Greenblood. I mean, you do that. It triggers off. Greenblood works off of your opponent's summer plots, and as we've established, when talking about Stark, that your opponent is probably playing summer plots.
At some point, yeah, you would imagine there's most decks, I'd say on average, run at least 2.
Yeah, so you've got that. I mean, you've got Greenblood at plus a strength from your opponent's summer plot. plus a strength from your own summer plot. If you play a Song of Summer, that's another strength, for all your Martell characters. I mean, we're using House of the Red Door to get something like that provides the same strength boost as Winterfell and the Wall. It may not have like the additional effect of Winterfell of the Wall, but you didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah. And also the big thing is those two cards can't be brought in with Red Door.
Yeah, and those two can't be brought in with Red Door.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice to see that between House of the Red Door and this Steed that we're starting to, it's nice to get these two cards like support a mini Martell theme that we've seen in the past. Kind of really rounds out this like Greenblood idea, that kind of got seeded, and then you kind of combine that with cards that really leverage having a lot of strength, like Core Red Viper, with Ariane Martell, 7 gold Ariane Martell, and there's a making of a deck there. And that kind of brings us back to what we were talking at the beginning. It's nice to see that, here in the 4th cycle, we're getting cards that kind of round out themes.
As I said, we were at the point where we're not just seeing the house card on the agenda and working out the deck.
Working out the entire deck. That's right.
You're at the point where you're like, okay, and I mean, there's always some clues, especially with Red Door. Okay, so your Martell, what are you putting out? Oh, you're putting out the Greenblood, so you probably got some summer plots. You probably start getting an idea from that. But it's not just a case of immediately seeing everything and knowing 95% of the decks, which is where we were at for about 2 cycles, if not 3.
This is true. Yeah, simply because of the size of the card pool.
And the big thing I love about the Greenblood, and there's something I always harp on about anything that's got summer or winter abilities, is it's not affected by winter. It's only affected by summer. So, I always think the best cards are the ones which literally go, like the House... Is it House Manlian Knight for the Stark?
Oh, yeah, if there's a winter plot in play?
Yeah, just if there's a winter plot in play. No, if there's more winter, just if there's a winter plot in play.
If there's a winter plot in play.
Yeah. Same with Argo. As long as there's a summer plot. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care. You can be playing melee. You can play 6-player melee. It can be 5 winter plots, 1 summer plot. That's all he cares about, that 1 summer plot. Yes. Same with this. This just cares about 1 summer plot. Well, potentially 2, the Greenblood. If you're lucky.
Well, the Greenblood's even better because it triggers off of all the summer plots that are in play.
And in fact, you've talked to when Ryan, he talked about on the cast before, but when he was at the big Spanish event, I forget which one that one is.
Batalla,
that's it. They were doing a practice melee game, 6-player.
Mm-hmm.
Someone set up the Greenblood, and all 6 of them had a summer plot turn 1.
What?
So you had like this reducer that was all of a sudden strength 7.
Oh my God, Red Viper time. That's what. Yeah, but then you go, do I really want to kneel this 7 strength reducer?
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna play out my was it my orphan? No, is it my Greenblood Trader? Just because it's a strength 7 intrigue icon, and I draw a card, but it's a strength 7 intrigue icon.
That's amazing.
But this also the Greenblood. One of the problems I've been playing a bit of Martell recently. One of the problems I've been having against Targ is Fire and Blood just kills the bottom out of a lot of your useful cards. A lot of Tyrell useful cards, Martell useful cards are strength 1.
Oh yeah, Blood of the Dragon. That's right.
Blood of the Dragon. So this, if you can see it coming, just play a summer plot. And actually, as long as Danny's not out, you're not just dying immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Same as I know Tyrell Knights for a while were running. Was it the +1
Song of Summer
for similar reasons? I mean, it was just a good plot,
I think in a Targaryen heavy meta. I remember back in like May for regionals. It was when Targaryen was really big. This past year, I played Tyrell Reigns of Castamere with Song of Summer, and it was very good. Simply because it's a natural counter to to Targaryen stuff.
Yeah, just natural counter to Danny more. Like, you got Danny out, cool. I'll do this, and then that's a Laterne. I don't have to worry about Danny.
Yeah, and then because a Song of Summer is a summer plot, then Greenblood triggers as well, so +2 strength to all your characters.
And then if they play a summer plot as well, +3 strength, and you are laughing.
Yeah, that's great because the dream is to get your 7 gold Ariane to send a Tywin Lannister back to hand.
You send Robert Baratheon back to hand, and you've got nailed characters just to really rub it in.
Just really, stick it in there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Cool. So, what else have you been testing? Just that Martell deck, or?
Oh no, I've actually been. The other the other thing that I've been playing, I've been kind of returning to Baratheon again lately. With specifically Baratheon Red Door for Red Keep. I know on our last cast we were saying that it seemed like a trap, but I sat down and I worked it out, and so all I did is I said, okay, let's play. All right, Red Keep. What does this assume? Let's build a deck assuming that we're going to aim to draw 4 cards a turn. That's actually pretty liberating because it lets you play a lower curve, knowing that your card quality, one for one might be worse than your opponent's, but you're getting more of them. Also, Traitor to the Crown is pretty nice. To help you secure getting your Red Keep trigger every turn. I mean, it's worked pretty well. It hasn't been amazing, but it's definitely been worth playing. Yeah. So you run 3 Traitors of the Crown. You run 3 Milks of the Poppy, and you just aim for maxing out. You just aim for a lot of 1-for-1 effects. If that makes any sense to you. Like I play a card and I lose a card, you lose a card type effects, knowing that you're going to be outdrawing your opponent.
No, that makes sense.
So all of a sudden, cards like Seed in Flames get better because I'm going to spend a card. I'm going to spend a fourth of my draws. I'm going to take out a half of your draws, for the turn. When each of your individual cards becomes a smaller fraction of your draw for the turn, then being able, doing trades, 1-for-1 trades becomes better, and it's been working out pretty well. It means that playing things like Milk of the Poppy is less of a cost because I may not take out the character entirely, but it's only one of my 4 draws for the turn.
Yeah.
As opposed to one of my 2 draws for the turn. Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun to play. And then what really caps it off is using Fickle Bannermen.
Really?
Because when you're playing Traders for the Crown on your opponent's characters, it gets pretty hard for them to win power challenges.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Then if they manage to pull it off, you can just steal your Fickle Bannerman right back.
No, I can actually, I can see that exactly what you mean there. If I'm still not 100% sure about Trade to the Crown. I think but
I think if you build with it in mind, I think it's pretty amazing.
It's not a bad card. It's not saying it's a bad card. It's just a card. I think I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'll say this: when you're drawing 4 cards a turn, it's pretty sweet. Because it's like, oh, here's one of my 4 a turn, and it's going to take out your ability to initiate a power challenge. Yeah, or defend my power challenge.
No, actually, I might have to ping that deck over. Might have a look.
Yeah, give it a shot. I'd say it's totally fun. So I've been working on that. I still think Tyrell is very strong right now, largely because Targaryen is very strong. But yeah, that's what mainly I've been playing. I've also played a little bit of Martell Fealty, both the 7 gold Ariane version and a standard Martell.
Yeah.
I'll say this: Flea Bottom's broken, so I'm jamming Nothing Birds Like the Cold into every single deck I can.
Oh, it's definitely broken. It's definitely broken.
Yeah. So I'm just like, everybody's playing Flea Bottom, so it's a decent chance you'll hit something good with Nothing Burns Like the Cold. And speaking of, one fringe benefit of Red Door is that your own location is immune to your own Nothing Burns Like the Cold.
Yes, it is.
This is very important.
Say that it's voice of reason.
Yeah. So it kind of, makes everything fit. So that means this Martell Greenblood deck we've been, kicking around, like you could just slam out a political disaster. You don't care. It's like you're going to keep 3 locations after it's all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I've also seen, I haven't built myself, but I've run into some pretty refined Tyrell decks using Mace and Hightower. It may be the new wall. in how quickly it can attain power.
Oh no, it can get power pretty quickly. I've seen it. I've been quite fortunate that I've not faced him much, and the few times I have faced him, I've had milk. And confiscation is definitely a deck, a plot that seems to disappear from a lot of decks.
Yeah, because it's like its stats are, it's dead in a lot of matchups, and its stats are not that great. Personally, this is where I think nothing burns like the cold really shines, because it's never a dead card if you just tweak your deck a little bit.
It can be a dead card if your opponent only runs no attachments and only limited
but
locations.
You know what? That's good. That means they're not running Flea Bottom.
That's true. Well, they could be Red Door.
But they could be Red Door Flea Bottom. Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to a lot lately. I haven't been to any store championships yet, so I haven't quite.
Got some soon though.
I think so. One of these days I'm going to kick this flu, and then I'll be able to travel.
Cool.
Yeah, I may just invade your neck of the woods there, Mr. Davey.
No, you're more than welcome to. You have to come down this weekend though.
Yeah, we'll see how this flu does.
Yeah, doesn't look. Unfortunately, in some respects, I'm quite happy. It looks like this weekend won't be quite the walkover I thought it was going to be. Hopefully, we've got some good players coming now. But for a while, it looked like it was kind of just going to be turn up and here's your play mat, because there's only be about 4 of us.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's all right. It wasn't that well promoted, unfortunately.
Okay.
But that's another story.
Yeah, and then you've been playing Baratheon
Brothers Without Banners.
Brothers Without Banners on streams a lot.
I played it twice, yes. About 50-50 record of it. It's all right. It's not a bad deck. I wouldn't say it's a good deck. It was just there's a lot of obvious synergy, which was the main reason I started giving it a go.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is it still suffers from problems Baratheon suffered with. All you've really done is replace Bob with
Mag the Mighty.
Beric.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that seems to be my suspicion of part of Baratheon's problem. Is they just don't have good cards. Like, they got their core and it was amazing, and they just don't have the muscle to like back up the core. They need they only have 3 characters with natural renown, and one of them is Fickle Bannerman.
Yeah.
Compare that to Tyrell, which has like 1,000 characters with renown.
That is their theme. That was one of their themes, though. But I know what you're saying. It was a fun deck. It's a good experiment. It's definitely a deck I would take to a games night or something. It's not probably a deck I would take to anything more serious than that.
Okay. Do you have Ocean Roads in there?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so you're pretty committed to the neutrals, which I think is a really good idea.
I was Ugenda's dead. The other thing is, like, I've taken the Ironbank Rabbit's Dew, which obviously is really good, especially when you put Littlefinger out, then bouncing back. Yeah. But obviously it also stops your ability from working.
This is true.
And for what I wanted it to was to get like 2 nils. So, you kneel with Intimidate and you kneel with Melisandre.
Yes.
The Baratheon Rose deck did that a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So, but then again, like, if you're running Ocean Roads, I think Triple Littlefinger becomes like a very good play. Oh, no,
it was definitely some good moments with it, and so especially with Flea Boss, Ironbanking him back for basically card draw. There's a game I think I did it 3 turns in a row, which is just that kind of card draw is brilliant. But it's done so well. I'm moving on from that. Though. I've had some fun with that. I always think the Tyrell brother deck I was playing around with was probably better.
Really? What do you have Tyrell for?
The Knights. it's a night themed deck.
Oh, okay, night themed. Okay, yeah. Night themed Tyrell.
Beric with 3 jousting pillions behind him is really good.
That is pretty funny.
It also that one. You're using the agenda to draw cards.
Right.
And then you're using New Garland to
raise their claim.
Raise claim, yeah. That's something.
That makes a lot of sense.
Funny story though. New Garland, bad card, very bad card. Really bad card when trying to use his ability against your opponent has Queen Cersei out and is on 14 power. Someone did against me today. The first game of the stream.
She triggers off of every discard.
Yeah.
That is right.
So I'm sitting there today. I was on 14 power. I let him go first. I was like, you need 7 power to win. If you can get 7 power and I can't get him 1 power, fair play. You've done well.
I will say that this is a fact that was revealed to me at Stolic.
Oh, really? You went that far right now?
Because I was using Crown of Golden Roses.
Crown of Golden Roses.
Whoops.
Yeah. Plaza of Pride, then you Consumed by Flames, Old Forest Hunter. You're choosing to discard these cards.
Keep in mind, limit 3.
That doesn't matter.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so it's like we're in Store Championship season. We've got some good we've got some new releases coming. We've got some sweet new Martell cards that we've been playing with. Nice. I mean, what else are you excited for that's coming? That's coming down the line here.
Well, there's that new plot coming out in the next pack. The one where I can't remember what it's called. The one we skip the standing phase.
Skip the standing phase. That's right. I think it would be really cool if it wasn't plot limit 1.
Yeah, that might be a bit OP.
It would, yeah, but you could design your whole deck around it if it was if you could have 2.
I'm planning a Stark deck that uses it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Obviously, you need to see
Rob.
Yeah, Rob, and you need to see Jon Snow and have other ways of sacrificing, just in case. So probably like North Remembers, some stuff. Mm-hmm. You can do that on characters, can't you? North Remembers.
Yeah, you can sacrifice a character to North Remembers.
Yeah, it's characters all location, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty. I think it's actually pretty good, and you could totally build a deck with it in mind. I'm thinking 6 gold Sleeves Baratheon myself.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'll kneel every character, and then they don't stand. But if nothing else, one thing I really do like about the Withering Cold is it skips the whole standing phase, which means the wall doesn't stand.
Yeah, you gotta be really careful.
Chamber of the Painted Table doesn't stand.
Your econ that you have to kneel, so Great Halls, that sort of stuff doesn't stand.
Great Halls don't stand.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with it.
Your
but
house cards?
Also, house cards don't stand. Yeah, I think it also has the potential to be quite devastating in that regard as well. But I think the fact that it's plot limit 1, deck limit 1, kind of prevents it from being like a whole deck built around it.
Yeah, I think that's why it's my Stark deck, 2 bar in the gates and that.
Yeah, and it's got good stats. I mean, it's got the same.
5-6-1 with 6 reserve.
5-6-1 is very good. I mean, that's up there with Varys' Riddle.
Yeah, no, the stats are good. It's winter traded, which obviously is does work with Stark if you are going to take the Northern Keeps.
Yeah, and I think this is the highest initiative. Well, barring Snowed Under, which kind of has weird initiative, but besides Snowed Under, it has like the best initiative out of any winter. Oh wait, Nothing Burns has 7. Never mind.
Yeah, but it's still up there. It's still up there.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, winter doesn't have good initiative, so it's good, nice to see. Now, I think there's a Stark deck in there. I think you could basically run that as your reset effectively.
Weird.
Against some decks. So Tyrell probably not because of Standy Randy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you have Milks of the Poppy and Nightmare, you can totally make it work.
But I think it could work basically as your reset because you're basically saying that these characters are useless for a turn. Mm-hmm. And you pick which turn they're useless in.
Yeah.
Whereas the Stark characters, if you set up right and you can just go, right, we're gonna, I've got a way of standing everyone because Rob's out. You don't suffer that downside, so it's kind of like it's like a safe reset. In some respect, if you see what I'm saying, it's a weird one, but it's kind of a reset.
It seems like it's a pretty sweet way to take down the builder, in my opinion.
Potentially,
take down Night's Watch because they tend to rely on having a lot of characters out, a lot of little guys.
You're definitely stopping the wall for one of the turns. They're not going to trigger the wall.
Yeah.
And against the builders, they can have a turn where they use all their the Banner Strongholds.
Like Castle Black and stuff. All right, never mind.
Yeah, Banner Strongholds.
I think it's because I'm quietly and mentally picturing Selyse Baratheon. I'm gonna kneel all your Night's Watch characters. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no. See, that could be. Obviously, they come out in the same pack. No, they don't. She comes back later. That could be a pretty brutal plot to play on her turn.
Oh, well, so, what I'm envisioning is, like, let's say you could set up a really brutal Withering Cold, where you come out of the Withering Cold with, like, more, like a sweet board compared to your opponent. Then you immediately go Retaliation, and it's like, or Winds of Winter, or for like a 2-claimer. Just smash your opponent in the face.
No, potentially in that one with that one plot, she's actually not bad. We'll see.
Yeah, well, Lex, I kind of like her. I'm definitely gonna play around with her because it's nice to see, though it is an existing theme. It's nice to see Selyse Baratheon just being like a nuke, that the theme's nuclear weapon. Where it's like, I'm just gonna kneel everything.
Yes, yeah, and. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be wrong. I'm sure you'll be seeing her on every deck, and I'll be crying. But
maybe I'll figure something out. Maybe I won't.
But I think it's still cool. I think it's still cool at this point where, as you say, there's so many decks out there, as we kind of talked about earlier, and and you say you're going to be seeing all these different combinations, and but anyway, unless there's anything else to hit on, I think we probably should round it off there.
Yeah, I will say this. I have been becoming more British lately in that I've watched my first few episodes of University Challenge.
Oh.
I watched Bake Off yesterday. And I watched Hot Fuzz.
Oh, that's a good film.
Yeah. And related to Hot Fuzz, that it features the same characters who I believe said it's been emotional.
It does. That's not where it's from, but that is the same.
But it's the same actors.
Yeah. It is, yes.
So I'm becoming more British, and I'm understanding you more and more, Ben.
Oh, brilliant! Well, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, that's true. I better stop.
But I must admit, I was enjoying your American brothers with the playoffs this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right. Football. It's a thing. Yeah.
I love the American on the podcast like football. I'm like, yeah, football's amazing.
If that's your thing.
But yeah, I guess just quickly, obviously, I'm just to kind of round up for the next episode. So I'm going to Store Champ this weekend.
Yeah.
And then I think I've got another one. I've got 2 more I'm going to before the end of the season. I can't do quite as many this year, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. I know one's been announced for Scotland, and I'm hoping that more get announced for Scotland.
Did I see you're going to Manchester?
I'm gonna try to hit the weekender.
Yeah.
Yeah, in mid-February. Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's yeah. I was hoping to hit some weekenders around here, but the 2 most local weekenders both fell apart because one shot in both situations was being a bit awkward.
Oh, that's terrible.
I will leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further to say which shops it was.
Oh.
But let's just say the Store Championship I'm going to this weekend was meant to be in 6 weeks' time.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh
well, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, in some respects, although I like the weekenders, it means I don't have to explain to the wife that I'm going to be away for a whole weekend.
Yeah. Whereas someone in my position says, if I'm going to fly down to London.
You might as well make a weekend.
Might as well make a weekend of it and play 2 Store Championships.
That's why it makes such a good idea. You get more people coming because you can go. You don't just travel down to Bournemouth or go to Manchester or whatever for a day. Come for the weekend. Come down on Friday, make a weekend of it. Come down the Friday. They're Store Champs. They tend to be over in 6-7 hours unless they're really big ones. So you can have quite a bit of a nightlife. It's not that much pressure like a regional or national, which can last the whole day or is the whole weekend. You just you can sometimes you're only playing 3-4 rounds sometimes, and then then you can just do whatever you want afterwards. So it's kind of a bit more relaxed. I quite like it in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's all right. I tried, but hey. Still not 100% sure I'm going to take. I'm tempted to take the Baratheon Rose deck.
No, I just took Tyrell Reigns.
Yeah, it's probably a Tyrell Reigns. I'm doing all this and I'm testing this Lannister deck. I've got a Martell deck to test on. When's my next stream? I think my next stream's Thursday.
Okay.
And then if you are watching this, there's going to be I'm streaming a tournament Friday night, which is the 3rd Words Cut Deeper Than Swords
Fear cuts deeper than swords.
Thank you. Fear cuts deeper than swords tournament. So I'll be streaming that, at least my games till I'm knocked out, and then other people's games. And I'm probably going to say, right, the deck I'm using on this, I'm taking to the store championship, and I'll probably be, I don't know, Night's Watch, Red Door or whatever. And
Don't play that.
And then I'll just play Tyrell the next day.
Yeah, just play Tyrell.
I know it's going to be like.
Yeah, Tyrell's good.
Tyrell is good. I like, and I know Tyrell. And the biggest problem I'm having at the minute, I'm really struggling to kind of make decks I'm really happy with in the meta. Unless I play Tyrell, then I'm just happy with what I have.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, oh, sweet, Lord Renly's ride. Yeah!
Such a good card. Such a good card.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also I feel a bit bad saying this. And I don't want to put off new players. New players are really important to this game. But the last time I was down the shop, which I'm going to, I had to explain to them why Dani's ability didn't work while she was knelt. That's the level.
It's okay. It's okay. You know what? New players are the lifeblood. New players are the lifeblood of this game. And you know what? I think it's about time in 2018 to produce some content.
It is. I think you're right. You're right. So yeah, just to quickly round out. So I've got that championship. Hopefully tomorrow. Although with the computer problems we've had tonight, that's looking less likely now. The first video from the Northampton Sword Championship will finally be out. Yay! Hopefully. It's been sitting on that for a while. Unfortunately, I've had this flu thing for like 2 weeks, which stopped me doing videos.
Yeah. I swear all of the United Kingdom has been hit by the flu.
Oh, we've had it's really bad. I work in a hospital. I can tell you, it is bad right now. Bad. Really bad. We've had people dying because of it. Not staff, I should point out. Only the patients.
Oh, okay. Only the patients. All right.
Yeah. The other thing to point out is at this weekend we are recording myself, the lovely Matt here, and the lovely James are recording a new series of videos, which we'll see where they go.
Yeah, we'll see where they go. They could potentially be aimed at new players.
I think it's also
new players will find them interesting.
New players find it interesting. I think existing players will find it interesting. It's definitely going to cause debates. And the great thing is, because this is a living card game, it's probably a video we can revisit in a year, and it'll be completely different.
Yeah, it's going to be out of date in like a week.
Probably, but that doesn't. I wouldn't say a week, but yeah. When I was making my list for this, I was thinking about certain cards and going, man, if we were doing this a year or so ago, this card would be right up there. But now it's not even on my shortlist.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna.
To give a little speak, I'm talking about Miri.
Oh,
a year or so ago, Miri would have been one of the cards we would be talking about.
No, I don't think so. I have my own opinions on Miri.
It would have made the list. At least would have been in the conversation that we talk about, honourable stuff, mentions, rather than
You're just spoiling the whole cast.
I'm not. It's fine. But now, not even a consideration, is it?
No, I didn't consider it.
I wouldn't consider it.
No.
I mean, I'm sure Whammer's now going to...
Tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah, we'll tell us why we're wrong. But anyway, but you do listen out for that. That should be out beginning of next week. And we'll see how that goes. And then we've got some other ones. We've got some other ideas for other ones if that is successful. Although this is the easiest one to do, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, because we could fanboy out. And that's what this is all about. Having a good time.
It is, and it's always good to talk to you guys. I enjoy it. Yeah, it keeps me going in the game sometimes.
Aw, shucks.
I know.
Thanks so much, Ben.
That's right. Anyway, rounding this out, so next time, I'll see, probably be a little bit more structure going on, I guess. I don't know, maybe. We might find you that podcast on the band list that you want to do.
Well, it's going to be more than a band list. It's going to be...
a rant?
It's going to be a list. It's going to be a discussion. It's going to be a mature, refined, gentlemanly discussion about all the issues. Yeah.
Why flea bottom to be ripped up, and that's about it, right?
That'll definitely be a part of it. But we're gonna address the issues.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.
We haven't said before, guys, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you had a good one. And it has been emotional.